Hey everybody, this is my Ascend H12 hybrid kayak, and today I want to talk about the steering system I installed on it. I actually bought it a few years ago to install on my old Sun Dolphin kayak, and I never got around to it, but I did decide to try it out this summer since this kayak is so wide open. I had such nice easy access to where the foot pegs and braces are. I thought I would give it a go, and it turned out to be surprisingly easy. So I went back on Amazon. I was able to actually find the link for the very unit I purchased. It is sort of a generic universal fit model, and there's a lot of them on there that are very similar, but I will put a link down below to the one I purchased because I can personally vouch for this specific model. I've been using it for several months now and I'm really happy with it. So I want to go over real quick how I installed it. It's not real complicated, but I do want to give you a few pointers on things I learned while I was doing it. First of all, it was easy as pie to put it in. The two bolts here are pre-drilled, and they were pre-drilled in the exact spots from where the foot pegs were on the original stock foot pegs. So I simply took the bolts out, popped the original foot pegs off, popped these on, ran the bolts back in, and they were done. When you get this, you will find that the rudder control part, this is your rudder control, and then down here is going to be your actual foot brace where you put your weight, and then this will control your rudder. So I just did a short video actually on how to run the line on this. If you're interested in how to do that, I'm not going to go into it now, but if you can't just figure it out by looking at how it goes through there like that, I will attach a link to that other video. But when you get this, it's going to look a little bit different because the rudder control part, because of the spring, it's going to be way down here and sort of upside down, and it might look a little bit confusing. You need to bring that up so that your tread surfaces are both basically facing the same direction before you run your line through it, and then that's pretty much installed. Now what I did was I ran some PVC, and all I did was sort of slide it behind everything. I slid it behind this panel here where the rod holder goes down. There's a plastic tube right here. I put a zip tie around it to lock it in place there, so it goes between the rod holder and this piece of plastic, and then a zip tied, and it simply runs up and under the edge here, and I ran a bolt through here, and it's literally just a bolt sticking out, and that just kind of holds it behind it, and it bends around a little bit, and I guess about here is where the PVC ends, and then the line comes out. I simply drilled two tiny little holes, and then that is where the line comes out and attaches to the two steering mechanisms. And again, I'll show you how all this works in just a moment. Now, the way I installed the rudder itself was pretty simple. It comes with this little metal sleeve, and then this pin, actually, if I pull this cotter pin out, I can take the rudder off, and this sleeve, this collar, stays in place. So what I did was I got a drill bit that was the exact size. I don't remember what size it was. You can figure that out for yourself when you get it. I just basically drilled a hole straight through. It is hollow in here, so that is a cavity. And I slid the pin through until it was just, or not the pin rather, but the collar, till it was just flush with the surface. And I put crazy glue gel here, crazy glue gel on the top, and then I squirt silicone caulk all up inside there and just let it cure for a day before I even bothered to put the pin in there. And again, that just slides in and you put a cotter pin in, and if it wasn't locked into this position, it moves just as simple as that. So that's about it as far as installing it. Now, what you're going to get when you buy it is going to be your foot braces. You will not get the cord for controlling it, but you will get a black cord, little nylon cord, that is for deploying it and pulling it out of the water. I replaced that black cord with my signature purple color, and I just put it on a piece of shock cord so I can get to it easy. But I just pull that, and it deploys my rudder, and then if I pull on this side, it pulls it back up and out of the water. And of course, when it's deployed, your foot pegs can now do that, and when one goes one way, the other goes the other, so they seesaw while your rudder goes back and forth. So I'm really happy I did it. really nice to be able to simply steer with my feet while I'm trolling along at a very slow rate with my motor. With the motor controller, our speed controller that I installed on it, I can just creep along and then hug the shoreline and just literally just snake in and out of the shoreline with nothing more than my feet using these rudder controls. So really happy about it. The line I've got on here now is this. And I know that looks like nylon cord, but it is not. It is polyethylene cord. You do not want to use nylon cord. Nylon will stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch, and you'll never be done adjusting your lines. So get the polyethylene if you want to get this stuff, but if you look at it, you can see how it's twisted. Polyethylene doesn't stretch, but that twist, if you pull on it enough, it will tighten that twist, and you will get what effectively is a little bit of stretch. And that's why, if you noticed, I've got all this extra line and everything hanging off here. I was just out here making a little bit of adjustments because it has stretched a little since I put it on there, and I needed to adjust that again for the third time. The better option, I've not yet replaced it with this yet. This is 300-pound braid for saltwater. It's a low budget brand. It probably doesn't hold 300 pounds. I tried to see if it would hold my weight, and it broke before it. I could almost get my feet off the ground, but it snapped before I could get my feet all the way off the ground. So it doesn't hold 300 pounds. I'm nowhere near 300 pounds. But regardless, the reason I got this one is because of the diameter of the line. It was the widest diameter braided fishing line I could find. Now, the reason I want the braided fishing line is because it does not stretch at all. You will get zero stretch out of this. It's also abrasion resistant. So in this particular case, I just have the line coming straight out of the kayak. If you've got something that's abrasive, if you decide to use a metal line, which a lot of people do here, you're definitely going to want to put a little grommet in there to keep the metal from rubbing, basically sawing through your kayak. This is abrasion resistant, so not only will things not scratch this won't rub that either. This is polyethylene as well. This line, this kayak, and this is all different forms of the polyethylene. So I recommend buying a roll of this and just having it around. This is, what is this, 300 meters? No, this is 100 meters. And I bought it for 10 bucks. And it is super duper strong. Again, that little thin line just about held my weight. It snapped just before I was able to get my feet off the ground. But using this, you can put it on, you get it strung up, and you should be good as far as not having to make any more adjustments once it's on there. I'll put links to all this stuff down below. And again, the reason I got this is because of the thicker diameter. When you run your line through, the way it comes out the end here, you're going to have to tie a knot and keep it from going back through. So if you're using, you know, like 100-pound test braid, that's plenty strong enough. I didn't get the 300-pound because I need the strength. I got the 300-pound because I need the diameter, so I could tie a couple of knots in there and I would have, you know, something similar to regular, you know, twine. But again, don't get nylon twine. If you're going to get this stuff, it'll work. I'm using it myself, but you're going to have to fiddle with it because of that twist. If you really want to just do it right from the first, get braided fishing line. This stuff will not stretch at all, and once you get it set up, you'll be done. The last thing that I can think of to point out is the way this adjusts. Is you have this little bar and it slides these pegs up and down, as you can see there. Well, once you put these bolts in, it hits this peg, and so all I did was cut with a razor knife and just cut enough of it out that it turns. But if I really wanted to adjust it here, honestly, I don't know if it would slide past this bolt or not. I've never tried it, but the peg would still work if this bolt wasn't in the way. And again, I've never tried, so I don't know if that bolt will be in the way or not. Let's find out, I guess. And this gives you an idea of how, even though it's connected, yeah, see, I can slide it all the way up until it hits. And you can see that even with that line through there, you can just adjust it to wherever you want. Really neat stuff. And again, I'll put that link or a card or whatever into how to wire that specifically. It's a short little 1-minute video, and that'll be that. So there you go. Last video I'm going to shoot about this one that I can think of in the near future is going to be about how to get in and out of it. And then I'm going to shoot a video about my motor and why I took the head off and how and all that good stuff there. That's a regular old Minn Kota 30. So I'll put a link down to that below as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope that was helpful. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you real soon in the next one.